I've watched a lot of anime in my time, and that includes some of the most famous anime that have ever been made. We all know the anime that people always say are the best of the best. Anime like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Attack on Titan, One Piece, and Kaguya-sama. And you know what? Most of the time, the anime is usually great. It makes sense that they're popular because of how great they are. But sometimes you watch one of these highly rated anime, and you just sit there wondering how the fuck is this good? You sit there in bewilderment from how bad an anime can be, yet still highly rated. And yet some people say that these are their favorite anime? And you just look at them like, what? I know people are entitled to their opinion, but people can be wrong, and not afraid to say anime is bad, no matter what everyone says. So that's why I'll talk about the three most overrated anime I've watched. And yes, I'm ready to be clowned for these takes. Number one, we got Devilman Cry Baby, the most what the fuck anime may have watched. I was only a wee little high school freshman when I watched Devilman Cry Baby for the first time. And even at the age when I was playing Fortnite, I still knew Devilman was ass. I was watching that shit during gym class at school with the most WTF face while watching it. I was explaining to my homeboy what I was watching, and even I was like I had no idea. Because the anime itself has a shit story. Like, I know it's like a remake or something, but that doesn't excuse it for being shit. The most WTF scene has to be the one where he came and it reached the ceiling. I don't know what they were thinking when they decided to include it. The only good thing in Devilman was the rapper. I don't remember their name, but all I know is that I liked them. And I'm obviously not going to rewatch these anime for this video because fuck these anime. You think with all the nudity that I like it, but that's how you know it's bad. And the nudity could even save it. Also, the ending was just very anticlimactic. I just felt so incomplete when I finished it. And when I saw people praising it online, I couldn't believe it. I'm still wondering what people like about this anime to this day. Alright, next up is an anime movie. And I know this movie definitely does not deserve all the praise it gets. And that movie is Your Name. Oh my god. I watched Your Name during 2020. And I was just bored out of my mind. Me and my cousin were both watching at our homes, and after we both finished, we had a little discussion. And guess what? We both concluded that it was boring. I don't know what people find so interesting about this movie, or why people cry when they're watching it. It definitely isn't sad, that's a fact. And the story is just so convoluted. Having them swap bodies was a good premise and all, but it all went to shit when it became time travel bullshit. Why did they need to include this? I have no idea, because all it did was make it feel like too much. The only good thing in the movie was, yeah, it was visually great, sure. I don't remember the music, but who cares about the music when the movie itself was so boring? This last anime might shock you all, but you know what? I'm ready for it. And you know what? It might make some of you mad, but I don't care. I've been silent about this for too long. People need to know the truth, and they shouldn't be afraid to mention their feelings. The most overrated anime of all time is Cowboy Bebop. Just thinking about this anime makes me mad. I watched this during December 2020, and it was between either watching Cowboy Bebop or Slime. And I went with Cowboy Bebop because of all the praise it gets. It's supposed to be one of the best anime of all time. And what I got when I watched it was the biggest snooze fest ever. I don't think I've ever been that bored watching an anime before. It physically makes me mad when I think about how boring Cowboy Bebop was. I wasted so much time watching this shit all to be not entertained. You know what? No. The only entertaining part was the opening. That's it. Sure, there are interesting and fun characters like Spike or Faye, but it all gets overshadowed by how boring the story is. I don't want to hear, oh, you just don't understand, or some bullshit like that. I do understand. I understand that Cowboy Bebop is boring, mediocre, and carried by its opening. My homeboy had to watch Bebop in 2 times speed just to get through it. And you know what? Most people I met also agree that Bebop is boring. The fact that people still talk about Bebop being a great anime got me looking at them like, what? Now that you know some anime that I think are overrated, I fully expect to be shitted on in the comments or on Twitter, but I don't care. Because guess what? I will always think these anime are shit, and there is nothing that can change my mind. P.S. Cowboy Bebop live action is better than the anime.